When I was elected as your Labour MP for Welwyn Hatfield in 2024, the SEND system was in crisis. I have met dozens of parents, teachers and carers locally who have told me truly shocking stories about how children and young people with additional needs have been failed. Our Labour government was really clear we were going to introduce wholesale reform and change to the system, and that's exactly what we're doing. And I'm recording this video on the week that we've set out our white paper for change. I want to start by saying this is underpinned by significant extra investment. From the 2025 to the end of the Parliament, there's going to be £7 billion more put into the education system, helping people with additional needs. That's a really important starting point, but we've got to get the policy change right as well as the investment. And I want to talk to you about some of the changes that are in this paper and why I think it's such an important step forward, but also why I want to continue to hear your views, because we are still at consultation stage. First of all, early intervention. When I brought parents together in Welwyn Hatfield last year, dozens and dozens of them who've real deep experience of the SEND system, perhaps their number one priority was saying to me that need wasn't being identified early enough in children. There was a really striking moment when I asked a room full of parents to put up their hand if they knew or suspected that their child had additional needs before the age of 5, and every single hand went up. This programme of reform is really clear that we are going to have a much greater emphasis on early identification of need through new Best Start family hubs in the community and through closer cooperation between the education and the NHS, so that young people and children get the support they need from the start. Secondly, people and training. Now, the government's already announced a £200 million package of additional support for teachers to go through training when they are first learning the profession, but also to go through continuous professional development. And that's going to be available for every single teacher who teaches in a mainstream setting. But in addition, what this plan sets out is that the government is going to go further. We're going to have educational psychologists, speech and language therapists and occupational therapists having a role in secondary schools so they can help provide that rounded support that children with additional needs require. And I think that is a really invaluable step forward. Thirdly, I want to be really clear that the government is going to continue to protect and invest in specialist provision. We have some fantastic specialist schools in Welwyn Hatfield, like Lakeside in Welwyn Garden City and Southfield in Hatfield. I've been to visit them. They work with children and young people with some of the more profound additional needs. And Southfield is actively looking to expand. And I went down there a few months ago to support their application for growth and expansion. So there will always be a role for specialist provision when that is the right thing for those children. But we're also saying as a government that we want to give young people the opportunity to go to a mainstream school if that works for them. So in addition to the educational healthcare plans, the EHCPs, which many of you will know and have heard a lot about, we're going to be introducing new individual support plans, ISPs. So there will be more children who have plans under this future system than today, but the ISPs will be at a slightly lower level. They will be it will be quicker to introduce, and they will be done by the school and in consultation with the parents. Parents' legal rights will not change. There will still be a tribunal system. There will still be EHCPs in place for those children who most need it. And finally, and really crucially, this is a phased programme of change. There isn't a single EHCP that is going to be reviewed until 2030 at the earliest. The investment and the training and the infrastructure is going to be built up now, and then some of the bigger changes are going to happen a few years down the line. When we're dealing with a crisis as deep as the one in SEND provision, that's absolutely the right way to go about it. The investment is coming up front. We're working through a programme of change together with parents, teachers, and everybody who has a stake in our children's future. I'm really optimistic about this programme of change on an issue that I know is so important to thousands of people in our community, but I want to continue to hear your views. So look, if you can, take the time to read the whole consultation, but please fill out my survey, make your voice heard, and let's continue the conversation about how we make sure we change this system and give every child in our country the best possible start in life.